Hey guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to speak about your website not being a brochure, but more of a sales journey. And I know that's going to be a little bit weird to talk about, but let's get into it and you'll understand what I mean after. So majority of websites look fine, right? Whether they look amazing or they, look like they're from the early thousands, it doesn't matter as long as they're bringing in sales inquiries and bookings, right? If they're not, that's because they're usually built like a brochure with the thought process of a brochure. So you've got pretty pages, lots of information, but there's no clear journey. A good website is not just a brochure. It's a sales journey, and a printed brochure has a sales journey too. Like, you've got to give it some narrative, you've got to give it storytelling, right? So there's always a beginning, middle, and an end. For a salesy brochure, you've usually got the beginning being the introduction and a contents page, depending how long it is. The middle is all your products, and then at the end, usually the back cover or inside back cover, you've got something where you want people to contact you, scan a QR code, for example, or something like that. Okay, when they're built like brochures, pretty pages, lots of information, as I've said, but there's no clear journey. A good website is not a brochure; it's a sales journey, and it guides people from who you are all the way to trust and what to do next. So that's usually like sales or something like that. Okay. And this is how a brochure website feels normally. Okay. You land on it and there's a massive big hero image, vague headlines of something like "Welcome to our business." And then you scroll through the different sections and it's essentially just a company CV where it's like about you, your values, our history, a bit on your mission statement, and then a gallery. And then what I'm seeing now is like Instagram feeds and that sort of thing. Like, you want people to understand what you can do for them and what you want them to do. And then with all that, there's a contact form just dumped to the bottom. And yeah, it's not built to convert. It's not that it's bad. It's just not built with your customer in mind. And the biggest giveaway for this is that it takes an absolute mission to figure out what to do next. Nice design isn't just about being nice. It's about how useful it is and the functionality of it. You can have beautiful colors and fonts and really high res images and still lose people because you didn't remove all of that confusion and fluff. People arrive with a question in their mind already of kind of like, is this for me? And if your site doesn't answer that very fast at all, then they'll bounce. And if you don't have the answer to the next question about being trustworthy or, what to do next, then there's no sales journey. And people are like, okay, a bit confused. Like, it's like looking at somebody's face and they're being really pretty, but then you get to know them and you talk and there's just no personality or no great direction towards, selling them. So you got to think of your website like a guiding path, not just a showroom. You've got to give clarity within a few seconds, and you should know who. I should be able to see your website and know who to help, who you help, why you do it, what you do, and then the outcome of that. And the second is like relevance, and show me you understand my problem, not just some features on a page. And then the third is like the proof. So like for us, everything's proof that something works. So traffic, low bounce rates, click-through rates, then sales eventually, but it takes work to get to sales, because it's not a quick fix. And I'm going to make that very, very, very clear, because it takes work. There's a lot of elements to get people to convert. But if you're doing things in the right way, consistently, then the sales will come. The next thing is you're not giving proof of what you do. So that's like testimonials, logos of partners and companies that you work with, or in designers' cases, case studies, or like building firms, like what properties have you been involved with, etc., etc. So you've got to essentially reduce the risk. You've got to answer them quiet worries that people might have as well. So that's like delivery, how long things take, for example, your timeline, essentially. And price range. But what happens next? If I inquire, what's the process? And fifth is basically simple things that are strategically placed: buttons, a form, booking link, getting people on a call. You've got to give a clear action, and you've got to repeat this in the right places to ensure conversion, right? So how can you tell you've got a brochure site? Well, if you land on your page and there's a hero section that could belong to any business, for example, your headline's vague, it's not selling to anybody, it's just there for decoration. And then you've got call to actions that are weak, for example, learn more or discover more or discover. These just sound too nice. You're not putting a bit of urgency on it. It's like Apple, for example. You go on their website, their blue button just says buy. It's straight to the point, simple information. People know what they need to do, right? So it's just all sounds nice, and it doesn't tell people what they get. Or 3, your navigation's like a drunk drawer, for example. Too many times I've seen too many options, too many pages, repeated pages. People just don't explore like they used to. They escape, basically. They'll just drop away. They'll click away. And then it's like going into a social situation, right? So when you get on your website, you're talking about yourself far too quickly. You've got to butter people. Your about pages are fine for that sort of thing. I get that you're passionate. I'm passionate. I'm passionate about design. I'm passionate about what I do for my clients. And I chuck myself into my clients. And sometimes it hurts when I don't get the results that I expect. And worse, when my clients don't get the results that they expect. I feel like I failed. And sometimes I haven't. So you've got to understand the quick wins as well to ensure your conversion rates and stuff like that are working. But customers want outcomes. That's fact. And 5, if there's no proof near the top, if someone has to scroll forever to find your trust signals as well, you've lost important buyers very quickly. And your pages don't answer obligations or objections. So there's no price guide. There's no FAQs. You've got no process. There's no next step. There's just friction. People don't, again, browse websites. They scan for the answers that they need and then make a decision. But there's some good news here. It's not all doom and gloom. Most businesses don't need a full redesign. You can stop looking like a brochure with some like really easy quick fixes. For example, you can just build a better structure, add a bit of clarity, start with the hero section and work down the page and just ask yourself, is this what my client needs to know? So for example, your hero section, instead of being welcome to our brand, lead with an outcome, something like we help X get X without X. For example, in this for purpose's sake, we help busy homeowners get high quality kitchens fitted without delay or mess. All right, that could be a little bit shorter, but then because you've led in with something, you can have supporting information underneath it, then with a clear direction on where you want people to go. Okay. Then the next bits are like things like you've got to give people choice. So that again, that's usually you give like 2 or 3 routes to different based intent. For example, I'm working with a client at the moment. They've got a few different seasonal options that they can give to their clients. And during the season, they want people to go to different things. So they've got 3. And then you go through and then there's like 6 or 7 different points. So we've got to work out how we make that simpler. So in this case, it's a good example, and that will be launching soon. I'm doing the audit right now, but you've got to show strong proof throughout your website. Okay. You've got to give strong testimonials. You've got to give, review score if you're on Trustpilot or something like that. Logos with companies that you work with, which I've mentioned before. And then you've got to give like short case studies, maybe a snippet, something to bite people in. Then you've got to tighten up you can tighten up all your call to actions. So you can replace learn more with more specific things. You could also add, get a quote within 24 hours or book a 15-minute call, see packages or, check availability. And then that leads to just simplify your menu as well. Like you take away the maze. You don't want your customers walking around thinking they're, searching for the golden fleece and the Minotaur is going to come out and get them eventually, Just keep things tight. For example, like home, services, work, about, contact. That's usually enough. You don't need more than 5 or 6 at the top. Okay. And I'm gonna just chuck it out there. You probably don't even need a home button anymore. I like to put them in because I like to simplify people's journeys, and I like to have a sticky menu that goes with you when you scroll so that it sits above your content. Can be a bit distracting sometimes, but I like it because you've always got access to the menu and you're always guiding people to new different areas. So when they're at the bottom of the page, they've got your footer, and then they've still got their header, the main hero menu as well. So there's different things that you can do. Okay. But the most important things are to reduce the risk factors. Okay. Reducing risk and answer people's questions that they're too polite to ask, like pricing guidances and timelines, guarantees and policies and all that stuff. You can make them easily accessible as well. And then if your website looks great, but it's still not bringing in leads and it's still probably acting like a brochure, go on to fix a little bit more pages and sort your content out. The fix is a better journey, and I'll always stand by that. So the more easier that journey is to whatever you want people to do, you're building easy to understand and an easy to trust with clear next step points, you should be onto a winner. And that leads me on to what we offer. So the simplest thing we can offer is a homepage UX audit, where I'll go through all your homepage like a customer would do, show you what's confusing, what's missing, what the change is, and to increase inquiries, and it's all practical, it's direct, and you'll leave with an action plan, give you a document that you can take to a developer and they should be able to make the changes for you. So if you want to drop a comment about what your website is, whether you're e-commerce, service-based or whatever, and then tell me the number one journey that you want to fix, and then we'll go from there and we'll have a chat. I do 15-minute free calls and we could have a chat about like what you need, etc. And then we can go on to the bigger things. Hope you've took something from this video, guys. If you want to engage with it, then I'll be most grateful, but make sure you like, comment and subscribe on the video, and I appreciate all of you that comes to the channel and sticks to the end. I love you all. Peace out, and I'll see you in the next.